Hi golfers, and welcome back to the Golf Hallway. Today I want to talk to you guys about the takeaway. So today I want to talk to you guys about the takeaway. And the takeaway is super, super important because it's going to get you on track so you can get back to the ball on track as well. I do want to show you a couple of drills, and I also wanted to show you a training aid, which I really love. I'm not a training aid girly. You know me. I never grew up with training aids. I had more coaches than I had training aids in my life. But this one is really, really good, and I do want to show it to you. All right, so let's talk about the takeaway first, and a couple of main mistakes and misconceptions that there are with the takeaway. So number one is the most overlooked thing in the golf swing, which is shocking, but so many people are worried about their top position, they're worried about their impact position, and all that is obviously important, all that matters. However, it doesn't matter because you need to first get to it. So let's focus on what's first. And that's kind of my approach of teaching, and also the approach that I've learned over my years is to teach from the ground up and from the fundamentals outward and from the body outward, and not look at specific isolated positions in the golf swing because they come from somewhere. Most of the time they are a result, they're not the root cause. So let's focus on the root cause, and the takeaway is one of the root causes of many issues in the swing. All right, so number one important thing in the takeaway is that you are actually taking the club away with your core. You're not taking the club away with your hands. See how here I'm just taking it away with my hands? There is no body rotation. My belly button staying facing forward. This is wrong. Do not do this. The correct way of doing this, much more so, is actually finding that relation between your belly button and your club, the end of your club, and now turning that club away with that belly button. See how my hips are already starting to move a little bit. My core is moving up until where the club is just inside your right thigh. So right opposite your right thigh, which will put you into that 8 o'clock position with the club being at 8 o'clock. And here you see my club face is actually outside my hands. You don't want to see it here. And this happens a lot when people actually do take it away with their hands only. They pull it inside. They kind of have a lot of forearm rotation. There's many mistakes you can make with this. But if you do see and kind of understand that relation between your belly button and your club in the takeaway, it's already going to get your body moving with the right muscles, with the big muscles, the core muscles, not just your arms, right? I mean, there's so much can go wrong when you do it with your arms. You don't even know. We don't want to go into all the things that can go wrong. We do want to go into the things that can go right. So here, we want to make sure we have this motion down. And then from here, really all that's left to do is hinge and rotate your shoulders. I'm going to have to move up a little bit without that wall, hitting that wall. So you want to make sure you take it away with your core. Right here, hinge, swing. Good. You're there. You're right there. You're in your top position. But if you were to drag your club inside, now you got to do all kinds of fancy things to get up. You got to lift, you got to turn, you got to maneuver your club up there. It is inefficient. And that's what we want to stay away from. Inefficiency in the golf swing. Backswing, downswing, the whole thing. Okay, so the hallway drill that I love for this is you actually just set up to your wall and make sure that club head touches the wall. Take your regular setup. And now feel like as you're going back, that club head doesn't leave the wall very much. You do want it to leave a little bit because in a perfect scenario, your hands are actually going to come closer to your right thigh or your trail thigh, but they're not going to go in, right? So the maximum amount of distance that club face is, or club head is going to be away from the wall is about 2 inches here at 8 o'clock. 2, maybe 3 inches, depending. Everybody's built a bit differently. But it most certainly isn't going to be like 3 feet away. So make sure that with your core, you're getting this turn away from the ball with your belly button, with your core, and you're keeping that club head very close to that wall, maximum of 2 to 3 inches at that 8 o'clock position. At 9 o'clock, it can then start to match your hands, and then you rotate up. But that's really the magic of the takeaway, and it's going to help you so much to get back on plane as well, because you're on plane going back, and then you can be on plane going through. All right, so the training aid I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Straightaway. Maybe you've seen it. It's been out there for about a year, and it's one of my favorite ones. There's not very many. As I said, I'm not a training aid girl, but this one I do highly recommend. Take it or leave it. I fully stand behind this thing. I use it myself. I only have a new one, so we're going to unpack it. Actually, let's show you the packaging. It's kind of cute. Rip it, clip it, and rip it. So we're going to unpack this. Oh my gosh, I'm so messy. I'm so horrible at unpacking. Is anybody else bad at unpacking? Like, I just rip it open. My husband's always like perfectly opening packages. I'm just like, I cannot wait. Okay. No patience. Zero patience over here. Right. Okay, so here we have the Straightaway. And it kind of looks like a little toy train. Birdie's coming. Oh my gosh, I'm not funny. Okay. Essentially what this does is it's going to give us a reference point while we are swinging and while we're practicing on where our takeaway is and how good or how bad it is. So we're going to take this and we're going to clip it onto the shaft. So we're going to take this and we're going to clip it onto the shaft. I usually clip it a little bit more on the bottom and then I just pull it up, depending on the thickness of your shaft, to just below your grip. So this should be fine. You want to make sure that RH, I'm right-handed, so this is facing forward and it's pointing straight down to your club head. And then we're just going to tighten it a little bit. Just don't make sure you don't over tighten it. Now we've got it secured on our club and this is what it should look like. The yellow piece is pointing 90 degrees behind you, away from the target. And you can use an alignment stick for this when you're out on the range and also indoors, because this is important for our reference point. And I want you to put this onto your toe line. So your alignment stick also always goes into your toe line with this training aid. You're going to set up to it. And then as you take the club away to that 8 o'clock position, I can now see that this yellow line is actually parallel to the alignment stick on the floor. If I were to roll and have too much forearm rotation, it would point backwards. And if I had, not enough, and if I kept the face shut, it would point forwards or it would point upwards. So here, really, from the golfer's perspective, it's a little inside that alignment stick on the ground, and it's also parallel to it. And you can hit balls with this. So here, usually the drill is 1 check, 2 check, and then you actually hit the ball with it, which that's another really good thing. If you are on the range and if you do want to use it outdoors, you can. And it's one of the few training aids that you can hit balls with. That's really going to help you, because I don't quite believe in training aids that you can't hit a ball with, because then it's only motion pattern and repetition, which is also great for training. But I do love a good training aid where you can actually make contact, hit a ball with without it coming off. So if you want to check your takeaway, if you want to have something that you can clip on once a week that you work, it's just a maintenance thing, really. Once you get it, you throw it in your bag, it's super lightweight, and you can just do it once a week to maintain, and you won't get too far off track, literally and figuratively, and more onto the fairway. So I hope you guys like this. Check out the training aid, check out these hallway drills. The takeaway is massively important, and I do want to stress that you should look at your takeaway next time you take a swing video. Do let me know in the comments below what your takeaway looked like. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time.